Well, hello there, darlings. Victoria here. Oh, let me tell you something about the intellectual laziness of the assumption artist. I have spent my entire life dealing in hard data, audited reports, and direct communication. In my world, if you aren't sure about a market trend, you investigate it. If you have a question about a contract, you call the lead counsel. But out there in the wild, people seem to have developed a pathological allergy to the source. Instead of seeking the truth, they prefer to build entire elaborate cathedrals of fiction based on a single vibe, a whispered rumor, or their own unrefined prejudices. It is a profoundly low-class habit, darling, and I have absolutely no patience for it. An assumption is essentially a mental shortcut for the lazy. It is the weapon of someone who wants the thrill of an opinion without the labor of an education. People look at my life and assume they know the cost of my success, the nature of my relationships, or the content of my character. They piece together a mosaic of nonsense from social media snippets and secondhand stories, and then they have the gall to treat their conclusion as if it were a peer-reviewed fact. It is hallucinatory arrogance. If you truly want to know why I made a certain acquisition, or why I terminated a specific partnership, or what I think about a global event, go to the source. My door isn't exactly open. I have security for that. But the information is available to those with the professional courtesy to ask, or heaven forbid, educate yourself. Read the filings, study the history, and engage your prefrontal cortex before you let your mouth run a marathon. Why do they assume? Because asking requires humility, and education requires effort. To go to the source is to admit you don't already know everything. To educate yourself is to admit you might be wrong. The assumption artist is too insecure to do either. They would rather live in a comfortable lie than an inconvenient truth. In my firms, an assumption is a fireable offense. We don't assume the quarterly projections. We calculate them. We don't assume a client's needs. We interview them. If you bring me a strategy based on a hunch, you will be escorted from the boardroom before the coffee is cold. I demand a world where people value empirical reality over personal projection. If you aren't willing to do the work to find the truth, then you haven't earned the right to have an opinion on it. I'm off to my library. I have a stack of primary sources to review because, unlike the rest of the world, I actually enjoy the sensation of being correct. Priorities, darling. Priorities. Okay, go make someone smile, darlings. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams to you all.